So let me ask you first, then I'll give mine. There's no minimum for you.
Um,
Like
from
ideally, like you could work with some people, but ideally, go ahead.
from just him or in the household?
No, just him. Just do just him.
Not necessarily, because I feel like the household, we need to be doing whatever it is that we want to do. It's the household thing, not all on you,
So you have a
or
household.
not even mostly on you.
What would your household be
I
ideally?
don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea, because I don't know what it's going to be to have to worry about what he wants and what he likes. But I don't know.
I would say right now mine would be it would probably be 70K. And then like household, I believe I would say like one between like 120, 150, 120. At this very moment. Shoot, it might go up. I don't know. But I'm just thinking like just like lifestyle wise, how I want to live, especially little children, because you probably need to make more with some kids. I didn't even factor in all of that, but yeah, in that way I can step back more and do more of the house stuff. How would you want to balance both, or would
Hmm?
you want? How would you want to balance both, or are you looking to make a large amount of money without a lot
The
of
balance,
hours?
the problem is the balancing act would vary depending upon how we're bringing in said money.
How
If
what?
how we're bringing in said money, the balancing act would change. So if, let's just throw the number out of $100,000. If it's 100,000 and both of us are bringing in 50, then at home it's probably going to be about the same. If it's 100,000, but he's bringing in 75 and I'm bringing in 25, then I'm probably going to take more of the bulk. If I'm bringing in 75 and he's bringing in 25, then he's probably going to take more of the bulk. So, I mean, as far as like balancing in regards, and I'm assuming you're referring to in the house,
Mhm.
like domestic duties, right? Yeah. So it depends on the breakdown.
You think
My thing is I don't mind either breakdown.
do you think there are a large amount of men that wouldn't mind that you can just kind of like flip switch and do that with?
I think they would be more comfortable with it if women would stop attaching masculinity to money.
Mm, you think so? You think it's
Yes,
all with
because
women?
yes, because the thing is what happens is when men come to the table, like they always what they always talk about is, oh, women ain't gonna date you if you ain't got X amount of money. Or they say things like, well, women are trying to be masculine and taking the manhood away from me because they got all the money and they don't need me to make it anymore. We keep attaching masculinity to funds, and we should stop doing that. And I feel like if we stop doing that, then yes, there will be more men that are more comfortable. Like, I actually love to cook, so let me cook. I feel like men would be fine with that if they felt comfortable enough to open up, and between him and her, they have both decided finances does not equal masculinity. What you are bringing in the house financially does not mean you are more of or less than a man.
I think really providing is attached to masculinity, which then goes into finances. I'm like, that's what it is, more than just the money and then the masculinity. I think it's more providing and protecting. That's what I would say. I don't think
I
it's
mean,
just
I
from
can
women though. I think men do that to each other.
I think men do that to each other, and it still has stemmed from the way women view men and money. The same way women do to each other when they sit back and talk about, the way that they look, and, your hair and XYZ. And that came from the fact that men are telling you this is what it's supposed to be. Women hate on women, but it's because we women tend to believe women are supposed to be XYZ based on what men say. Men tend to believe men are supposed to be XYZ based upon what women say, because they're trying to attract the other. So
Hmm.
because of that, they try to become what the other sex wants, or what they think the other sex wants. So when that happens, then that sex then be like, well, I'm better than because I'm more in line with, and therefore I can get, and you
Mm.
can't. So
But
I
if
think
oh, go ahead, go ahead. You finish your
so
point.
I think women do it to women and men do it to men, but I also think the root of it is because women were telling men what they wanted and what it should be and what a man is, and men are telling women what it should be and what a woman is.
I don't disagree. I have more to add of why men and women think like that. But before I get to that, if we are the consumers of men and men are the consumers of women, shouldn't we be what the person that's buying want? And not just like,
I
let's
didn't
just be
say, I
whatever.
never said that. I'm not sure why you asked that question.
Because you are saying that men are this way because women say that this is what they want.
Yes.
Shouldn't they be that way if we're the one who's
Okay.
purchasing?
So your original question was, are there men that are comfortable with doing that, that breakdown of like picking up more stuff domestically? My
Mhm.
response was, if women would let men believe, if women would stop attaching finances to masculinity, yes, I think they'd be more comfortable with it. So that still
Okay.
goes back to what you were saying in regards to, men are what they think women want, or they
Right.
try to
Okay.
be what
Yeah.
they think women want.
You're right. That makes sense. That goes into my what I was when I said I have something else to add to it. I think a little bit it's just our makeup though, because we're typically more nurturing, so we tend to fall back domestically, and men typically like are strong. I'll say stronger just because that's what the hands-on jobs that make more money, so they can typically go out and do that. So I say that to say it's not only what we like in men or what men like in women, is kind of like what we naturally gravitate towards. You don't see that a little bit? A little bit?
I mean, I can understand that.
Yeah, so I don't think it's all we put it on each other. I think it's a little bit of biology
I
in there.
mean, if we talk about money,
You keep saying it's more
because that's
providing,
what we were
but
talking about.
no, I get it. It's providing that just happen to be money. You
But
need
money is
money to
only
provide.
money is only one piece of the pie of in regards to providing. But we keep making it like huge.
It's a huge chunk of the pie. When you don't have a house, you ain't providing nothing else now.
If he's not providing a house, he's not providing
No,
anything.
if you don't have the house, what else are you providing for your family? Like, you providing for your family like somewhere else? Like,
Yeah, you can provide other places other than finances. I mean, how many people are hella unhappy, but they man give them a home and money?
oh, I don't know, happiness. Yeah, that's something else.
Well, no, I mean the reason I say unhappy because you're normally unhappy because you're not getting something that that you want or you feel like you should have or whatever the case may be.
Oh, that's not
So I
what I
mean,
meant by when I say providing. I
so
meant
what are you talking about?
like for the stuff that the family needs. That's what I'm talking about providing. I'm not talking about like emotional relationships or anything. I'm just talking
But
about just that's like the main thing that a lot of men believe that they're supposed to do, provide for their family. I don't think it's just because of women say it. Like I said, I think it's a little bit of biology.
I mean, I mean, let's be honest. Let's also look at history.
Hmm.
Not necessarily biology. Let's also look at history and the fact that like women were unable to provide for themselves. So they had
Hmm.
no choice but to allow the men to provide for them. So let's look at history as well, not just biology.
Hmm. Okay.
So if you add that in, then that has an effect on the way we view men and what they're supposed to be providing. Because if you want to go to biology of providing and everything in regards to animals, we're
Hmm.
the only animals with finances.
We are.
So, okay, so if you want to go to animalistic ways, the animalistic ways is protection, not providing money.
No, yeah. So protection and
So
providing
that's
now.
so that's higher than providing money to me. I would much, because I can make money now. You don't, that doesn't have to be the thing that you provide me. But more than likely, I'm probably weaker than you. I'm more than likely more emotional than you. Therefore, you're more logical than I am. So right. Those types of things to me is like they're slowly changing, where those are important in regards to providing, because a woman can now make her own money. Before we couldn't, and that's the reason why finances was always attached to masculinity and providing, versus it being, as far as being an animal and animalistic instincts, the other things that men tend to provide being an animal.
Well, let's go to like back to animalistic instincts then. If a man wants to provide the home, he will build it, right? Because he's probably stronger. He'll build it up. Now he doesn't have to build it. He can just pay the mortgage. So it's the same. It's the same.
No, it's not, because no, it's not, because this is the reason why I say it's not the same instinct, because the thing that you have now used to get that house, instead of you building, I could get too. So that's not, it's, so we're no longer talking about the animalistic instinct of you being stronger than me. Because that the building of the house is no longer what you did. So you still have that strength. You more than likely still have that strength physically over what I have. But the fact that we're talking about money is what then gave us this house, that ain't got nothing to do with your animalistic instinct of building a house. Because I could have bought that house myself. Maybe
I didn't do the correlation quite right. I guess the satisfaction is what I was trying to illustrate. The satisfaction of him, dang, I built this house for my family, is like the same of, dang, I paid this mortgage for my family. I would think. I like that. I don't know for a fact. That's
I believe that, and I absolutely hear men talk about the satisfaction of being able to provide stuff. I can take you feeling a way in regards to the satisfaction of providing that house from your family, and I'm not taking that away from you. If that's what you want to do, that's completely and totally fine. I'm not taking that away from you. It's just that to me, I just don't feel like, I am not an individual that's going to be like, you got to provide the house necessarily. We got to see what's going on. What do we want? Like how are we going to use our personalities and our traits the best in this relationship? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, let's say if he's a construction worker, he's using his strength and all of that stuff, but I'm the accountant of that company. I got the money, not him.
Accountant of his company?
It's gonna be my money that's about to buy that house.
You said the accountant of his company, or
that same company? So we're working for the same company. He's construction. I've got that off of the family that prays. He's the construction worker of the company, but I'm the accountant. I got the money. That doesn't all of a sudden make him less than a man. Now, granted, in that movie, she did that. But that doesn't mean that he's like not providing, because probably, I'm sure, I mean, in regards to getting that loan and that mortgage and all that stuff was based on my income, not his. Mm-hmm. So I understand the satisfaction of men wanting to be like, okay, I gave X, Y, Z. And I don't take that away. I'm not taking that away from you and saying, well, you can't do that because I can do it on my own. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that's no longer at the like super high, because I no longer need you to do that. If you want to, be my guest, but I'm also not going to treat you different and look at you different and, anything along those lines, simply because I had more of the financial wherewithal than you did to be able to provide this for us.